Good evening. It's an Easter Monday. Perhaps Eggster. Eggster. Does that sound good? Eggster Monday. Do you like that? Eggster Monday today. Eggster Monday, the 5th of April 2021. A very good evening to you, and welcome to this evening's little chat show. This is United Kingdom Talk, coming to you from Bracknell in Berkshire. Bit cold today, weren't it, eh? Huh? A little bit cold today. I got up, done my radio show, and after that, I had to go over to my mate's house because he's down with his brother and their family at the moment in London. And he needed his cats fed, so I had a little walk over to there. And I can't go now for a walk somewhere else without taking a bag for litter. It's an obsession. It's absolutely an obsession. I know. And I took my red bag and lined one of my big Sainsbury's recyclable bags with the red bag, and off I went. And I couldn't believe how much there was, especially at his end. I don't think there's anyone. I mean, he's not close to me. To walk to my mate's house from here is about 20 to 25 minutes. Okay, round here, it's quite clean now. You wouldn't, if you walked around here any day, you're only going to find a couple of little pieces, probably a few pieces of litter, you know, if you're lucky, because there's me that does it. It's not just me that does it. I couldn't believe it the other day. I'm outraged. Sunday morning, usually Sunday morning, there's a children's play area, which is a stone's throw from here. There's my house, which is at the end. Then there's some trees. Then there's a path. Then there's some trees. Then there's a children's play area. I can actually see it from my window, right? And you do get a lot of rubbish there. Not only from the little kids. I think the teenagers go over there at night with their cat and, you know, you can smell that awful. It's a dreadful place around here. It's worse than Bristol. Worse than Bristol, Mick Davenport, worse. And then you find those gas canisters. I don't know what they're doing with those. I have no idea what they do with these gas canisters. I mean, how would you sniff one of those? Do you have to put it in some sort of machine or something? I mean, they're like little... Actually, I'll bring one in. Next time I find one, I bet I won't find one for weeks now, will I? You find them in clusters. You won't find one, you'll find 5 or 6, all sort of in the same area. I have no idea what they do with those. Seriously. I don't know how that works. They're supposed to be, I believe, to blow up balloons. I think that's what they're sold for. Anyway, so you pick up all those and so you get some of those in there. So usually on a Sunday morning I'll go over there, and during the week, you know. If there's children there, I tend to not go over there because they're just going to drop the stuff anyway. So I'll do it early morning or the next morning, something like that. Anyway, I was just about to go over there Sunday morning. I look out the window. There's someone else over there. There's someone else over there doing the plate area. What a bleeding cheek! That's my litter. I'm going to say, leave. Can you leave that? That's my litter over there. Can you leave that, please? Nothing to do with you. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Leave it. What a blooming cheek. That's my litter, that is. Who do these people think they are, coming in from other places, dear, and picking up my litter? That I pick up. My area. Anyway, my mate is not so lucky. It's... Oh, Christ. I have to go through almost like a little... How do you explain it? I don't know. Like a little wooded field area. I'm telling you now, there's bags and bags of litter in that place. It's disgusting. Disgusting. So I don't know if he'd want to do that with me. There's got to be 10 to 20 bags full of rubbish there waiting to be picked up. Cans, bottles, everything. You couldn't make it up. And even actually going towards his house, I noticed it's much worse than around here. So I don't think anyone's doing it at that end. I shall have to put a little note on my litter group. That being said, I mean, people are going past the street bins on the way to my mate's house. They're chock-a-block. And when I say chock-a-block, the council clearly knew that they weren't emptying these bins for a few days. So they've even hooked bags on the side of the bins. Yeah? You know, like clear plastic bags on the side of the bins, knowing that the bins would fill up. Well, they're full up as well. There's so much rubbish. Why don't they just take it back? Take it back home with yourself and put it in your bins. I don't know why people are... What's that noise? I thought I heard a noise then. I hope we're not about to be broken and taken over by religious extremists trying to get their message across. You know, there's a group of nuns trying to break in as we speak. Nope, no more noise. Thank God for that. So that's what I did. Got to my mate's house. I always worry because he's got an alarm on there, really modern alarm. And the last time, 2 times ago when I went, I forgot how to do it. And you have to push the unlock button and then push the code, right? The number code. And I never have the code, and I have to text him, oh, what's the code again? And he texted me, and I got there that other time, 2 times ago. I think this is back in January or something, the last time he left the house. And I forgot to press the unlock thing. I'm typing in this number. Of course, it's not stopping. Beep. So, you know, open the door and it starts. Beep, beep. And you go, doot, 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 doot. Beep, beep. It would go, beep, beep, doot, 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 doot. Beep, beep, doot, 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 beep, beep. It went like that. Oh, God, no. And this alarm's going off. And then I saw the unlock button, so I tried it like that, and that did sort it out. But, of course, it generated a phone call, you know, from the alarm company, because I'm on one of his, people that they have to ring. If they can't get hold of him, they will ring me. And so the phone rang. Oh, hello, your alarm's going. Yeah, I know, it's me. I've forgotten how to do it. Anyway, I went in there and fed his cats. Had to empty the poo tray. Oh, don't like doing that. The poo tray, which actually didn't smell very much. And all the cats came down the stairs. They know when it... It's like something out of a bloody horror film. All these cats come down the stairs, sit on the floor and just stare at you. Feed me! And then I came back again, and that was it. Anyway, so that was my day today. I expect the council will be very busy tomorrow. Picking up, emptying all these various bins. Not only that, collecting all the red bags everywhere. Because people like myself, generally we're all of an age. There was someone who posted a picture of their boy today, who's, I suppose, about 12, something like that. 12, 13, 14 maybe. And he went on his own out around his little road with his red bag and litter picker, and he put it down by the sign, which is what we do. Took a photo of it, and they posted that of him, and he's standing there proudly with his bag of litter. The little people, as in sort of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, when they find stuff on the beach, which we would consider litter, they call it treasure. I always remember great nephew Harry and Evie last year, some I think it was in Mablethorpe, I think it was we were at, and they were on the beach and they were building these sandcastles. I don't like the beach. You might find that a bit funny. I don't like all that sand. Oh, it just gets everywhere in between your toes. Oh, I hate it, sand. And then you tread it into your car, don't you? Oh, and even I don't think many of them got them now, but they used to have taps, didn't they? Taps by the side of the, you come up off the beach, up the steps, wherever you are in the world, and there'd be a tap there, and you used to put your feet under there and wash them off, and then you used to put your feet back on the ground again. Complete and utter waste of time and water, really. I can't bear sand. Anyway, so they're on the beach last year, and they were building sandcastles, and I saw all these things around it, like, I don't know, plastic shampoo bottles and bottle tops and cans. Oh, what's all this here then? That's treasure. And they looked at me, that's treasure, Uncle Chris, with serious face. Oh, right, okay, good. I'm glad you found some treasure. We call it rubbish. It's funny how our children think, isn't it? But we love them. And I'm very much looking forward, hopefully, next week to going up to see them, which will be on Wednesday. There won't be a show next Wednesday night, of course, because I will only have just got there. And no music and chat show in the morning on Wednesday either, I think I said. Let me just refer to my very, very, very busy. Very, very busy. Look up, very busy diary. Look, busy. Have you got a diary like this? Full up. Bookings all over the world, dear, and beyond. Busy, yeah. So there won't be any shows next Wednesday while I'm trying to sort myself out. And hopefully by Thursday morning, I will have put everything in place for me to be able to do the radio shows as well, and then going forward. I've still got to take the Halloween backdrop down up at the caravan. It's gotten a bit colder, and my nephew put the water back on, didn't he? At my request. Thank you very much, Gary, if you're watching. And of course, it's the temperature's about to plummet again tonight. So what I'll have to do is leave the heating on, put the heating on, which I can do from here, because it's electric, in the caravan, and hopefully that sort that out. Anyway, that's my days so far. Anyone, have you finished all your eggs? Have you finished all your Easter eggs yet? Oh, get this one. So my mate, very good friend of mine, manager of Central Station, Guy, I was saying to him earlier, I was talking to him only about half an hour ago while the music was playing, and I said to him, did you have any Easter eggs? Oh, no, I'm not having Easter eggs because I'm not religious. Well, I'm not religious, so I'm not having any Easter eggs. Well, nothing to do with religion, aren't they? Well, why are they called Easter eggs? I said, well, I don't know, really. It's just a commercial thing, isn't it? Like Valentine's Day. Oh, let's have Valentine's Day. Then we can put all the flowers up by 10 times and charge you 50 quid for one bloody rose, dear. It's the same as that. Mother's Day, Father's Day. If you're wondering where this cough's come from, I restarted my brown steroid spray. You know, the brown one? Like that, but brown with a spacer in between it 2 days ago, and the cough's come back. Funny, innit? It's caused by that bloody brown thing I'm smoking, sucking in all the time. That started this afternoon, and all I've had was 2 puffs, one yesterday morning, one yesterday night, and one today, so 3 puffs. And it's brought the cough back again. Must be something to do with that. Gotta be, isn't it? Strange and mysterious, that's what it is. Anyway, yeah, it's like all these made-up days. Ross Patzelt, my friend on the radio, he mentioned this the other week. Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day, all these different days. Easter, all designed to make you spend money. Easter eggs are nothing to do with religion. Nothing to do with it. He said, I'm not having any Easter eggs because I'm not religious. Oh, Guy, I think you need to I fancy his brother. Terrible, isn't it? Bit young, 30, 31. Bit young, but there you go. Because, I mean, you know, we're still waiting for Mark Bowles. Nothing happening with Mark, is there, really? I don't know. Good, so that's the Easter eggs. Did anyone else have Easter eggs? Have you finished them? I literally have just finished. Is it here? Yes, it is. Just a moment. I just had this before I came on. Anyone would recognise what that is, wouldn't you? Go on, what's that? Have a guess. Any idea what that is? You know what that is. You know exactly what egg that's come from. And I had that about 20 minutes ago, so be warned. Because last night I had a whole chocolate egg. And I had a whole bag, but mind you, that was in the afternoon, a whole bag of dairy milk chocolate buttons yesterday that my mate brought me around for Easter. And last night I was as high as a kite. Let's go fly a kite up where the air is light. La da, oh, Mary Poppins. All right, Mary. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim chiree. Feed the birds, 2p a bag, 2p, 2p. Yeah, and all that business. Could you do some likes on my show, please? Can you do some likes? That's that little thumbs up button underneath the screen, and that'd be much appreciated. All right, my darlings. Talking of Feed the Birds, that's one of the numbers a very good drag queen friend of mine, Titty LeCamp, does in her show. And very sad news today. She's put a post up there and decided that she's not going back to it. She also works in the post office as well. I was there when Titty LeCamp, his name is Richard, when Richard won the talent show at a place called the Black Cat where I worked for many years. He won. I was there that night pushing the buttons for him. Okay? And he's had a good career doing drag. Anyway, of course, like everyone else, drag queens, DJs, singers, we've had no work, nothing. Not one single night now since March. I've had no money at all coming in from there. And he also works in the post office. And he's decided he's not going back to it. He feels he's much happier not doing it. Because there is quite a lot of stress doing entertainment things. You have to have a very thick skin. The crap that people throw at you all the time. You know, I'll be honest with you, it's a lot easier sitting in a little room like this, because if you give me crap, I'll just block you. Easy as that, right? In a live situation on the stage, and you see it with famous artists, Michael McIntyre, okay? So he'd be standing on the stage and he'd get a heckler. Some dickhead who thinks they're funnier than the person on the stage, so you start shouting things at them, you know? And you have to deal with that there and then. Whereas sitting in a little room like that, you get any aggro, you just block them and be done with it. No more trouble. Easier. And of course, Titty will have had, over the years, Titty LeCamp, Richard, he would have had over his fair share of hecklers. But get on with it. This is rubbish and all that. You know, people who have absolutely no talent whatsoever shouting at people on the stage who are doing their best. And you have to deal with it there and then. I don't think he wants to do that anymore. And that's, I do think that there's also a certain amount of worry and trepidation whenever you do something like that. I get it while I'm sitting here, believe it or not. When that clock's counting down to 8 o'clock, I get extreme. Oh, you wouldn't believe it, would you? You wouldn't believe. I get extremely worried and nervous that something terrible is going to go wrong. And it's the same when you're in a venue and that. You know, what could go wrong now? Something could just suddenly go off. It's happened before, as you know. The internet could go off. The electric could go off. You know, I could drop dead. You never know. And if I do, please share the programme. We need the numbers. We're desperate for the numbers here. Desperate. Anyways, decided to give it all up. Great shame. Great shame. I've enjoyed his shows over the year, but he's done now. He's decided he doesn't want to do it anymore. You know, whatever job you do, I think eventually you get fed up with it. Doesn't matter what the job is. You know, you wonder why these people go on the telly in their various programmes. I don't know. Take, for example, Bruce Forsyth. Bruce Forsyth. Why would you ever leave the Generation Game back in the 1970s? Why? Biggest game show on the telly, biggest programme on the telly. Bruce Forsyth's Generation Game in the 1970s. He left it to go to London Weekend Television and failed miserably. Do you remember that? The Bruce's Big Night Out, terrible, just didn't work. 2.5 hours they put him on a Saturday night, didn't work. You can't go back to your old one. Someone else has got that job now. Why would you ever leave that? Because eventually I think you do get fed up with what you're doing. You do. And then you either chuck it in or step back and look at it and change something to make you happier again. Because you can't do any of this stuff if you're not happy. You know. That's how it is. Right, let's read some of your messages. Thanks very much. If you're watching the show and you're quite new, a very good evening to you. Just to let you know, if you're in any sort of chat box or comment section of any sort and you're trying to talk to me on there, I'm afraid I don't see those comments. The way to communicate with me, please, is to either send a text in the number top left hand side of the screen there, 07451 287 337, all right, 07451 287 337, or you can send us an email there, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I'll also open the phone line a little bit later on. There's only one line, okay? Although we do have, answering that phone, we do have banks of telephone operators standing by to take your call there. But they're not ready yet. Don't ring them yet, because there's no one there, okay? It's a bit early for them to get into their chairs. They're still having tea at the moment, because I like to throw on a dinner for them as well. You know, I can't afford to pay them a great deal of money, but they're all, at the moment, I do like to give them a meal before they start. Poor old, I can't remember, I think they got chili con carne tonight. You know, vegetarian, of course. Right, let's read some of your messages coming in. Good evening to George Bond. Good evening, George. We've got a video from George a little bit later on in the show. Another archery video coming up from George Bond tonight. Hello, George. You weren't there this morning, George. Where were you this morning when I was on the radio? Weren't you allowed to listen? As your nan told you can't listen to me. Eh? Is your nan there? How is she today? Send her my best regards. Good evening to Diane Jebb. Hello, Diane. Good evening, Diane. Good evening to Rachel Wheatland, also known as Rachel Wetland, or just Wet. I do hope you're not wet, darling. What are those little pad things you can buy? Tina towels? Tenor lady. Have you got tenor lady? I've got one on myself. It saves going to the toilet halfway through the show, doesn't it, Rachel? Hello, Rachel. Good evening to Steve Murray. Steve says they release the gas inside a balloon before inhaling it. These little metal canister things. Well, why don't I find any balloons then? I don't find any balloons. Just the canisters. What do they do with the balloons? Is that what the kids do? They put it in. So how do you get the gas in? Is there some sort of device or something? Because surely, I don't know. You see, I don't suppose I find full ones. Do they have a top on them? I have no idea how those things work, Steve. Good evening to Sherry Parish. Hello, Sherry. Happy Easter to you, Chris, and all your viewers. Thank you, Sherry. Happy Easter to you. Oh, you had a nice day yesterday. Love your jacket. John and I fed our caravan neighbours' friends, by the way, sweet and spicy chicken wings. Sweet and spicy chicken wings with chips and corn on the cob. She's feeding all her neighbours. Funnily enough, you should mention that. Heidi Young, who's often with us, certainly for the bingo, she's just offered me, they've got a new pizza oven where their caravan is, and they said, when you come down, you'll have to come over for a pizza. She's going to cook me a lovely pizza. Oh, I like a pizza, don't you? Yes, please. Thank you, Sherry. Good evening to Fran. Good evening, Fran. We missed you this morning, Fran. You weren't there, lovey. Not there. Not there. I was just playing music to myself today. Most disappointing. Hello, Fran. Good evening to Mike in Brighton, who says that the canisters, these little metal balloon gas things, contain nitrous oxide used to make cakes rise. Perhaps you should try some of that. It might help you to rise a little bit more at your age, Mike. He says, our housekeeping guys used to find loads in the hotel rooms. It's a form of laughing gas and can be deadly. Cost is around £3 a canister. I'm not sure if you need something to gain access to the gas. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Surely these little metal things have to go in some sort of gadget to get the gas out. Yeah, it's a bit like I've got a portable gas heater that I have. I was using in the caravan before I went all electric. It's in the shed now. Although, to be honest, when it's very cold in the caravan, the electric heating can't cope in the living room. It's all right in the bedroom, perfect in the bedroom, but the living room is a living room come kitchen, and it's a big area. Do you see what I mean? And I've got this electric thing on full blast, and it's not coping. So we're probably gone past that point now, if you see what I mean. But certainly next winter, I might get that back out of the shed and just have that in the living room. You know, if I'm spending time in the living room there, once hopefully we'll be able to travel around regular, because we don't know where this travelling is going to go, do we? Yes, we can travel from next week. Old Boris was saying on I didn't see the whole announcement, from his brand new £2 million television studio. Worth every penny, absolutely. Worth every penny. That's what I say. He should have come to me. £2 million they spent doing that place up for the telly. Look at this. This is about 100 quid's worth here. You're looking? Well, 100 quid. I'm not including the cameras and all that business. Actually, no, not 100 quid. 20, 40. Yeah, about 100 quid's worth behind you there. That's all. Him, £2.5 million. He's been done. Probably one of his mates doing it. You know what they're like. All right, well, you do this. I'll give you a couple of £1 million. Yeah, okay. Isn't it? Shocking. So I didn't see the whole announcements, but we can certainly go up and stay away from our homes next week from the 13th, actually, which suits me down to the ground, funnily enough, because I've got a scan, ultrasound thing of here, which is down again, It's gone back down again, as luck would have it. So I've got one of those on Tuesday, which is the 13th, right? Because I was going to come up on the Sunday. I was going to go up on the Sunday. Well, actually, we're not allowed to go on the Sunday. It's from the 13th, isn't it? From the 13th. So 13th, I'll get my neck done, come back here, have a little bit of sleep, and I'll probably, highly likely, go up there Tuesday night. I'll leave here about sort of 8ish, put my alarm and everything on, and just go up there, and I'll be there. If I leave here at 8, I'll be there about midnight. You know, move in. That'll be fine. But we're kind of gone past the cold bit now, I think. So I won't bring my gas heater back into the caravan at that point. They're very good, those portable gas heaters. You have to know how to use them. Very, very important. Because if you don't, they can be dangerous with carbon monoxide. Seriously. You got to look at the flame. The flame must be burning blue. Now and again, I suppose it's all right to flicker. If it's yellow, you've got a problem. Turn it off. And also carbon monoxide detectors. I've got one in the living room and one in the hallway. Because it's just the living room come dining area. That's the bit that gets cold in there, even with the heating on. You know, bedroom, no problem at all. Funny enough, not just the bedroom, bathroom and studio. They're like 3 rooms together in the caravan. So there's one room there, bathroom there and hallway. So you come in the door. On the right is our little studio. Next door to that, my bedroom. And next door to that is and I leave the doors open and I have the heater on in the bedroom. That does all those 3 rooms. Good, isn't it? But the one in the living room doesn't cope as well. Because it's just one great big room, you know. I suppose it all goes out the window or something. I don't know. Maybe some thick curtains. That might help, mightn't it? Thick curtains. So hopefully Tuesday night I'll be up there for Wednesday. On the Wednesday morning I'll try and sort my computers out so I can do radio. But we'll see how that goes. Thank you. Good evening to Gary Ross. The replacement Wi-Fi cooker is working well. It's working well. No problems so far, I'm pleased to say. Thank you, Gary. And thank you very much for your tip yesterday. You do enjoy a super chat, even if you send... oh, hang on. Where's my mouse gone? There we go. You do enjoy a super chat jingle. Even if you send your PayPal, I got paid... he tipped me, there you go, if you want a tip. He tipped me by PayPal yesterday, which is always actually preferable because then I don't get taken. Otherwise, YouTube always... those of you that kindly send super chats, you might not be aware, but YouTube do take 30% of it. 30, yeah, not 10. Not 10, 30% of it. And so it's always nice when someone does it on PayPal because a fiver is a fiver then, you know. So thanks so much for that, Gary. Much appreciated. Hello to Ollie K. Good evening, Ollie. Evening, young Ollie. Welcome along to the show, Ollie. All right. John Parrish, coughing could be COVID or litter picker's cough. I like that. Litter picker's cough. Perhaps that's what I've got. Breathing in all those poo bags that I have to keep picking up. Please don't throw your blooming poo bags. No, they may be biodegradable, yeah, but not in 10 minutes. Weeks. Well, it's longer than that. Because I find poo bags that have gone flat and dry with the poo, and the bags are still there. They must take months for those to degrade, possibly years. Don't chuck them. Evening to Jason Hughes. There's Clarissa. Good evening, Clarissa. And you may have noticed already, gang, Clarissa, this is the other jacket that Clarissa bought me. Isn't this fabulous, eh? I feel like Joseph and his amazing Technicolor dream coat. I close my eyes, drew back the curtains, to see for certain, what I thought I knew. That one, yeah. I feel like Joseph. Thank you, Clarissa. This is fabulous, my dear. I even like this better than the last one, than the yellow one I had on last night. So thank you, Clarissa. Good evening. And she says, I've got a couple of drag friends who are doing live shows on Facebook and just relying on tips. Yes, I have too. A lot of them actually are doing that. Drag shows on the internet and just relying on tips. I don't know what they get. I've no idea how much people tip them, but good luck to them anyway. Maureen, good evening to Maureen. Hello, Maureen. George Bond fell asleep. He had a lay-in. A lay-in, dear? What, past 9 o'clock? God's sake. All the shows have finished. All the shows are done. You know, I mean, who is it? Who's after me? DJ Swish. The 10 o'clock breakfast show. And I keep telling him, dear, how is it a breakfast show at 10 o'clock? Why is it a breakfast? Everyone's like, oh, it's the 8 o'clock breakfast show. It's the 9 o'clock, but it's the 10 o'clock. No, there's no breakfast show. Breakfast show is 6 till 9. 6 till 9 a breakfast show. Once you've gone past 9, that's it, mate. We're into daytime. Who's getting up at blooming 10 o'clock in the morning? The answer to that is George Bond. So late, dear. Rachel says I'm cheeky. Good evening to Rumble Bumble. Hello, Rumble Bumble. Happy Easter to you. Hello to Pete Rimington. Good evening to you. Amelia Phillips is there. She's been on a long walk. 10k. Oh, what's that, dear? 10k? What's that in miles? I don't know kilometres, dear. This is not Europe. This is the United Kingdom. We're not doing kilometres and all that, kilograms and mini things or whatever they are. Whatever that is. Inches, feet, miles, pounds, shillings, pence. Kilometres. I don't know what that is, dear. Thank you. Fran says you're allowed to go to the caravan from the 12th of April. Oh, well, that's only the day before, isn't it? The Monday. There we are. Thank you, Fran. Mike in Brighton says, I can't read that word, Mike. Fancy sending me a swear word like that. God's sake, man. Swear words are being sent. I can't believe my text thing has actually allowed you to do that. Shocking state of affairs. He says that chocolate's kicking in. Everyone take cover. Aren't you terrible? I had a letter from Jeff here as well. Where's the email from Jeff? There he is. Let's see if I can bring that up. There we go. Jeff sent me a letter, an email yesterday, actually. A text. Good evening, Jeff, if you're with us. Knowing you're a sci-fi fan, there are 2 classic films on the Horror Channel, which have been on, I think it was yesterday. The Island Earth, followed by Earth versus the Flying Saucers. Both treasured memory from my youth. I bet these special effects look really bad on those now, don't they? You know, when you watch some of the, even Star Trek, to be honest, the original Star Trek, the Enterprise, clearly looks like a model. Well, of course it is a model, you know, but when we used to watch the telly in the 1970s, it looked like a real spaceship. Maybe it's because we're high-definition tellies now and you can see that things are models and not an actual real spaceship. Unlike the thing that I fly up and down to Lincolnshire. Got my own spaceship, haven't I? Flying up and down to Lincolnshire. Yes, indeed. Thanks very much for those. So there we are. On the emails, good evening to Danny Woodhouse. Good evening to you. Danny Woodhouse, like to announce that he's not dead yet. Fantastic news. I'm so glad you're not dead yet, Danny. We can't afford to lose viewers on this show, dear. There's perilously small amount as there is. All right? Thank you very much. And so Amelia today has walked 6.21 miles. Gosh, that's all right, Amelia. I did 9.5 the other day, so bully to you. 9.5 today I've done. I don't know what I've done today. Would you like me to lock it up, dear? Because I've only been to my mate's house and back, although I did do some litter picking. I don't think I've quite got to the 10,000. I reckon I've done 8,005. I reckon I've done 4.2 miles today. Let's have a look. Activity. Oh, 3.4. Even less. But I have done 9,752 steps. That's me today. There you go. 9,752 steps. Okay. Poor George has been poorly with his COVID jab. Well, I'm sure you'll be better soon, my darling. All right. Now, here we go then. First of all, what's the worst meal that you've ever had when you've been out? Can be anywhere, incidentally. You could be anywhere. On a plane. Plane meals have got a really bad reputation. Although, I've got to say, in all the times that I've been on a plane, I could never say that I've had bad quality food. I always fly British Airways. I think once I flew Laker Airways, which you may remember back in the 1970s. 1979, went to America for the first time with the Scouts Jamboree. But I've always flown British Airways once or twice. I think I flew Virgin Atlantic, and that's it really. American Airlines. But I can honestly say I never had a bad meal on a plane. Not really. I've never really had a meal that I've ordered and I knew what it was that I couldn't eat. I've never sort of, got to the plate and started prodding around with a fork. Oh, I can't eat that. Never. Never in my entire life can I remember having a meal that I can't eat. But what about you? What's the worst meal you've ever had? Now, the worst, and we're not really talking about restaurant experiences here. If we were, I would tell you that the worst restaurant experience I would had was in Boston, up in Lincolnshire, at a place called the Chain Bridge, or the Chain Mall. I can't remember what it was now. I think the Chain Bridge restaurant, which is near Boston, where the portions of chips were minuscule. And when I complained, I was told that's a portion mate. After waiting forever for this meal to arrive, we must have been sitting there an hour and a half. Dreadful. And similar experience at the Rain Cafe at Euro Disney with my nephew and his family a few years ago now. Dreadful. Waiting ages. But actual bad quality food, no. Not at all. What about you? Have you ever had bad quality food when you've been out or somewhere? You know, I don't know, whether it be McDonald's or on a plane or in a posh restaurant even. You know, I've been out with people before. I used to go out with someone years ago now, and whatever restaurant we went in, she would find fault with the food. Oh my God! Look, that's not cooked. Oh, look at that. That's got that on it. Nothing but, of course, you don't want to take them out anymore, do you? Didn't take them out anymore. Only went to that restaurant. I took her to a couple of restaurants. That was it. That was in my straight days. Well, you think you're straight. You're not really, though. You're kind of covering it up. Moan all the time about the food. Didn't bother her. Even McDonald's. Look, these chips are not cooked. Look at that knife, it's filthy. Always looking for something wrong. Just eat the blooming food, for Christ's sake. What about you? Have you had a bad food experience anywhere? I ask you this because there's a story in The Sun. Now, I mentioned airline foods. They've got a pretty bad reputation. I don't know why, because I've never had bad food on a plane. But there you go. The other place is football matches. How many of you go to football matches? Now, it's a shame my nephew, Jimmy, he was 24 at the weekend. It's a shame he doesn't watch this, because I'm sure he'd have a story or two about bad food at football matches. The Sun is reporting dodgy-looking food sold at... By the way, if you're watching the show for the first time, don't forget, gang, if you're in a chat box or a comment section of any sort, I'm not on that, okay? To send me a message, please use the text number up there, or you can send an email there, or you'll be able to call in very shortly when I open the phone line, okay? But The Sun is reporting dodgy-looking food sold at football grounds has been revealed by supporters in hilarious online posts. Back in 2019, Spurs fan George Tucker was left less than amused when he got a dry sausage in a huge burger bap after ordering a hot dog. And it's quite unbelievable what they've given him. So you order a hot dog, what would you expect? What would you expect? You expect a long roll, wouldn't you? A long roll, little frankfurter put in there, long, not small, and then, I don't know, tomato sauce, something like that, wouldn't you? Well, this is what they gave him, look. That's what they gave him. Isn't that awful? Dreadful. He says his dissatisfaction was shared on Facebook, and other supporters revealed their culinary disappointments as football fans can finally look forward to getting back into the grounds when they are permitted with the coronavirus restrictions easing. I don't know if he talked about... Did he talk about football at all on his little chat today, old Boris? Did he discuss football? I don't know. George bought the dry hot dog for £2 while watching non-league Frome Town in Somerset, which is where Mark is, isn't it? He tweeted, "Got myself a hot dog today, and this is what I got. £2 I'll never get back." It's awful, isn't it? I mean, it's a bit... I don't know, are the boys and girls, of course, who are at football matches, are they a little bit tanked up? It's a little bit like going for a kebab. I mean, I would never touch a blooming kebab. Oh, God. No way. Never had one. Don't want one. Don't know what's on that meat. Don't tell me it's all... Oh, it's best quality lamb. How do I know that? Where's your proof? Where's the lamb that's just been cut up? You know, wouldn't touch it. But that's the sort of thing. You come back from the pub, you're on your way, oh, no, let's go and have a kebab. And they sit there, they eat half the kebab, and these disgusting people then chuck the rest on the floor, don't they? Although I gather you can get a vegetarian kebab. I've never had one myself. I suppose you just have all the salad stuff and a bit of tomato sauce in there. I do that in Subway. I have a toasted cheese Subway. I have all the salad in there, especially onions. I like fresh onions chopped up in there. They shove it all in there, and all there is a toasted cheese. It's perfectly all right. He said it looks more like a cold puppy than a hot dog. Joe Blackley quipped, a solid investment. Someone else said about it, looks like the sausage died over 4 years ago. The club actually messaged him and they said it's embarrassing. Free ticket and a burger next time you come over, just let me know. That's fair enough, isn't it? Someone also sent in a picture of a delicious looking cheese and bacon burger, adding bit of a trek, but if you're ever at Hampshire, come over to us. It's got various different things there, you know, and I don't know what the hell that is. A crusty looking pie he said he bought at Championship. I mean, that don't look good. That looks like it's been overcooked. Look at this pie at Barnsley. I mean, just looks like... I'll tell you what, that looks like dog's dirt in a load of pastry, doesn't it? It's a pie. Awful. And I got a couple of other pictures to show you there. Have we lost our little... Has that gone a bit dim? Have I gone dim? 1 minute. Why have I gone dim? I think that... There you go. Is that better? There we are. Have I gone dim? That should... Right. Do you want to turn... Am I a bit dim? Someone tell me if I'm a bit dim. Couple of pictures to show you here. Here's some dinners out here. There we go. Which you've seen already. Look at that chicken. Now that chicken looks like the top and bottom right hand corner. Yeah, that's the black thing. That looks like a chicken to me. Not only is it a chicken, it looks like it's been delivered from somewhere, doesn't it? Because it's in that metal take-out type thing. And above that is some sort of burger, and I don't know what the hell that is. I mean, the oranges look nice, don't they? But what about you? What's the worst meal out you've ever had? Perhaps you'd like to talk about it this evening. Phone lines open now. 020 8144 3477. Maybe it's a meal someone's cooked you. So, and you've you know, if I went round to someone's house and they cooked me a meal and I simply didn't like it, or I thought it was like not cooked properly, I wouldn't tell them. I think that's bloody rude. Really rude. That awful programme on Channel 4 where 4 people go around, was it 4 people? I don't know how many people. Several people go around someone's house. They're nice, happy, oh, thanks very much. Now you eat the meal and then they go and slag it off privately to a camera. I think that's just awful, that. If I had a bad meal round someone's house, I'd make an excuse not to eat it, but I certainly wouldn't say your cooking's crap. I wouldn't do it. Not even if it was bad roast potatoes. Some people don't do the roast potatoes. I'm not saying anything. They're just not cooked enough. They're still white. You know, I will not, I'm going to make it so, I will not eat racist potatoes ever. They must be brown. Not being cooked enough. They're racist potatoes. Must be cooked properly. Shocking state of affairs. Anyway, if you want to call in about a meal that you might have had, feel free to do so. Line is open now. Operators are standing by right now to take your... Yeah, they're in now. They're all ready. There they are, all sitting there waiting for your calls, gang. 020 8144 3477. 020 8144 3477. Operators are standing by to take your call. Speak to me in my brand new, beautiful, thank you to the lovely Clarissa, purple jacket. Yeah. I close my eyes. Right, where are we? John Parrish says, I once tried monkey brains, which were served live in Borneo. Did my head in. Monkey brains? Oh, how awful. Oh, no. How can you have that? Monkey brains? Mike in Brighton. In the 1980s, I was taken to a posh restaurant, which was a totally new experience for me. Well, you'll be taking me to a posh restaurant soon, Mike in Brighton, when I come down for my free afternoon tea. It's not often people take me out for an afternoon tea, but don't think I'm easy. Don't come on to me. You're not using that as an excuse to get me in that bed of yours again. He says, I could find anything I could recognise. I couldn't find anything I could I couldn't find anything I could recognise apart from the steak. So I ordered it with excitement. He ordered dead animal. However, it was steak tartare. Oh, no. For those of you that don't know what steak tartare is, it's steak not cooked at all. Chopped up into lots of little pieces. It's raw. I mean, you might as well go over to a cow as it's walking around and slice a piece off and eat that, because that's basically what he's had. Steak tartare. Oh, no. I would have just had a bread roll. And nothing more. Oh, I'm really not that. Can I just have a bread roll, please? I've done that. I've done that when I've not. If I've been in a restaurant and not ordered anything, I've literally just had bread rolls because I didn't fancy anything. You know, happened a couple of years ago. We went to this. Was at Christmas time, and we went to this Brazilian restaurant in London, and it was just all meat. And it was very well done, and they just went round the tables and kept chopping off bits of dead animals onto people's plates. I ended up just having bread and butter. That does me. I'm quite happy with bread and butter, dear, except it does give me a problem with the acid. Mike says, if you've seen Mr. Bean when he went out to celebrate his birthday, that was me. Yes, I've seen that one. Steak tartare. Oh, no. I don't know what's worse, that or John Parish's monkey brains. Poor monkey. How does it think anymore when you eat its brains? Dear, there's some people watching this show now. If we tried to eat their brains, there wouldn't be an awful lot in there, would there? Vera Taylor. The worst meal. Oh, by the way, Vera says, love the jacket. You're looking very regal. All I need now is a little crown on my head, don't I? Perhaps that Burger King crown that my great-nephew Harry had on a couple of years ago. I've still got that somewhere, I'm sure. Vera says the worst meal I ever had was in a hotel restaurant in Germany. Do you know, I've never yet been to Germany yet. Can you believe that? I told them I was vegetarian. He came back later with a plate of grass that you would find in your garden. He came back later with a plate of grass that you would find in your garden. I asked him what it was. He said it's what the cows eat. Everyone in the hotel restaurant were taking pictures of my plate. Oh, it wasn't a joke then. He bought you a plate of grass. Oh, dear me. Shocking. Clarissa says, are you sure? Let's get that picture back up there. Where is it now? There we go. Clarissa says, are you sure it's a chicken? It looks more like a toad. And the show is Come Dine With Me. That's the one where they take the mick out of people's cooking. Shocking show. No, I think that's a chicken. It's too big for a toad. Oh, I suppose it could be a toad. I don't know, really. Oh, Clarissa. Ribbit. George Bond, the worst cooking I've had was my nan's. Oh, George! Don't say that about your nan's cooking. All that hard work she does cooking your meals, you ungrateful little git. I'd slap you. You will be slapped. How can you take the mick out your nan's cooking like that? All the hard work she does. Just because she don't like me doesn't mean to say you can run her cooking down. I'm gonna ring her up. I'm gonna ring up your nan and tell her. Rumble Bumble, nothing to do with the worst meal, Chris, but your great tip for potatoes done with Frylight spray. Yes, although I've realised something, which I'll come to in a moment. They come out the oven lovely and not all soggy and full of grease. Fantastic. Yeah. You should do a cookery show. We have the naked chef already, thank God, so you keep your jacket on. I won't be taking my jacket off like that. No, I'm expecting to have gained 1 or 2 pounds this week due to Easter. I haven't had loads of Easter eggs. When I say I've had a load of chocolate, I have. But now it's finished. I've had a big bag of those chocolate round things. Buttons, giant buttons. I've had a Cadbury's cream egg. That is a Cadbury's cream like egg, like that, with a cream egg in it. That's the extra that I've had. And some bread. Probably more the hot cross buns than anything. I've had 8 hot cross buns since Friday. But now they're finished, you know. I said to you I was going to do that. So I'm expecting that to be a slight weight increase tomorrow, one of those things. But when you're saying with the potatoes, one thing I've noticed, when I get my Wi-Fi oven ready, okay, if I do chips and roast potatoes, literally, way I do roast potatoes and chips, I do not peel the potatoes. Never. Never. Now, generally, from the supermarket, they've already been washed, but you can give them another wash under the tap if you want, and just a bit of a scrape with that plasticky plate cleaning sponge thing, you know, the green bit, what's all rough. Give them a bit of it if you want to. I don't always do that. So you put your oven on, you spray them with all that, in the oven they go. Half hour, 45 minutes, right? Now, the thing is, Rumble Bumble, you probably won't do this, but I've got my Wi-Fi oven now. I can turn it on remotely, right? So if I'm going out litter picking, I never know whether I'm going to be an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours maybe. I never know, right? So when I'm coming back, so I've loaded up my oven, I've sprayed my stuff, put them in the oven. Admittedly, they do not come out as well because I think the spray light, what's it called? I'm going to sneeze. The Frylight has excuse me. The Frylight, or whatever it's called, spray. What's it called? Frylight spray. The Frylight spray, after a while, I think sinks into the potato. So if you've put it in the oven, sprayed it, and you've waited 2 hours before you turn it on, it's now sunk in. They don't come out as well. Don't come out as well. But you can still eat them. They're still edible, don't get me wrong. So the best way to do it is you put your oven on, get to temperature, potatoes on there or chips, spray with Frylight straight in the oven. Beautiful. If you do them before, they're still okay, but not quite as good. So I'm glad you like those, Rumble Bumble. And of course, there is no... They're not soggy at all, not even a tiny bit, because you've put such little spray on there. In fact, Rumble Bumble, I don't know if you've heard me say before, but in Slimming World, you can have as many potatoes or chips, if done like that, as you want. No limit. No limit. You get chips from a chip shop, very bad, absolutely soaked in oil. With the Frylight, in there, you've hardly got any oil on there at all. And it's actually not the potato that contains the calories. It's the oil. So that's one of the things with Slimmer's World. You do chips or potatoes like that, you can have as many as you want. Many as you want. Unlimited. Same with the vegetables. Unlimited. But do the vegetables in water. You know, no oil. Same with rice. Believe it or not, that's another thing we can have. Unlimited rice, but done in water. No oil added. Oils and butter, out the window. No bread, no cakes. Oh, cakes. Oh, I hope I get a cake from great niece Evie next week. I'll be mortally disappointed if I don't get a blooming cake. I won't give her if she don't do me a cake, I won't give her Christmas presents. I'm going to tell her that tomorrow when I ring up. I'll tell her that tomorrow. Oh, we got a call coming in. Line 1, an international call all the way from Pennsylvania. Hello, Glenda.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, my darling. How are you tonight, love?
I'm good, thank you. I wanted to ask how your Easter was.
Easter was fine. Yeah, it was nice. Let me just check I've got you on there. Say something.
Yes.
Oh, there we are.
Can you
That's
hear
better.
me?
You were very quiet for a moment, and I think I had a wrong button up there. Let me turn that down again. There we are. I had a wrong button on there. Yeah, it was lovely. Thanks very much. I just had one. I had one Easter egg and a big bag of chocolate buttons. Do you know what they are? Cadbury's chocolate buttons.
No.
Oh, they're nice. They're little round. They're like a button, and they're chocolate, basically. Big buttons. Very nice. What about yours, Glenda?
Actually, I went over to spend, I'm sorry, I'm hearing a feedback.
Oh, you're hearing yourself coming back, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I think it was when you turned up the volume, but I don't hear it now, so that's
It's
great.
gone, is it? Okay. Yeah, carry on, my love.
Yeah. Yeah, so I went over to my sister's house, and all three sisters were at my sister's house, plus my mom and my dad and my mom's boyfriend and all my nephews were there. And it was the first family gathering that we've had in like a year.
And
So it was really nice.
And you're allowed to do that now, are you there?
Yes. We're in the United States. We can do basically whatever we want.
Oh, no. Has the whole vaccination thing, that's really doing well there now, isn't it?
Yes, like, I work for a health company. Well, I work for a big hospital system here in Pennsylvania. And so I got my vaccine on Friday. I went for my first one, the Pfizer.
Right.
And I go back on April 30th for my second shot. My mom got her first, well, she got the Johnson & Johnson shot, which I don't think that you guys have over there, but it's just one injection. She got that on Thursday, and neither of us had any side effects. Although my mom did say that all the men that she worked with that got the Johnson & Johnson shot all ended up getting sick.
Oh,
But the women really didn't.
I think they're trying to get rid of a lot of the men, to be honest, Glenda. That's what's going on here, my love. The ladies are taking over the world. Won't be long now. The next Russian president will be female as well, I'm sure.
I don't know about that. I think that man won't be out of office until he ends up dying.
No, I don't think he will. I think you're right there.
But, yeah, so I wanted to see how your holiday was. And then I also wanted to say about the worst meal you've ever had in a restaurant.
Yes, please, yes.
I don't know about a worst... it wasn't a worst meal, but I remember when I was a little girl, my mom went out to eat at McDonald's, and she ordered a fish sandwich, and when she bit into it, there was a rubber band in it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh. See, this is where a lot of it happens. When you buy something that's already made, a sandwich or something like that, you take it out of that little plastic box, don't you? You don't look in the sandwich. Mm-hmm. You never do. You just start eating it, don't you?
Yep.
You wouldn't expect anything to be there, really. Do you know what? Now that you've said when you were younger, when you was a little girl, that has reminded me, actually. There was once, I think I was about 15, and I'd gone up the chip shop just after Scouts with my friend Philip. We got some chips, and I'm sitting there eating them, and I pulled out and thought, that doesn't look like a chip. It was a fried worm. It was a fried worm in the chips. And do you know what you did? Do you know what I did? Threw it away and carried on eating the chips.
Well, I think I would have lost my appetite with that. But my husband just reminded me, and actually we were talking about this yesterday during Easter dinner. We went to a restaurant called Long John Silver's, and it's like a fast food restaurant, but they serve fried shrimp and fried fish, and they have these little cornbread fried little balls. They're called hush puppies. If you ever come to the United States, you have to get some because they're so good.
Hush puppies.
But anyway, so we went to eat at this place, and we ordered some fried fish and some chicken, and when we went to bite into the chicken, it was raw in the middle.
Oh, no.
So that was kind of disgusting.
Oh, raw food. It was probably. I think that happens mainly when it's frozen and it hasn't. The heat just hasn't. They haven't cooked it enough. Oh, how did you take it back? Yeah.
Yeah. We went up and complained, and we ended up getting the meal for free.
Yeah.
But,
Okay. Yeah. That's
yeah.
fair enough. I mean, some people they go the whole hog and start complaining to the relative authorities that they've done. I would do the same as you see. I'd just go up there, hang on a minute, there's something wrong with this. Okay, we'll replace it for you. That's good enough for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really one to throw a fuss, and my sister used to work in Atlantic City in a casino, and let me tell you, if you go and you bitch and complain to people, oh, sorry, I swore, but if you complain to people that are your servers and you're a real nasty person to them, they will do things to your food.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
My sister told me that one of the servers, they had like a really nasty customer, and they took the person's coffee cup and they rubbed it under their armpit and then they served it to them. So I'm telling you, don't ever complain. Like, that's why you don't ever want to upset your server, because they will do crap to your food.
I agree.
So I don't complain. Like, you don't know if somebody's going to spit in your food or if they're going to put something else in it to make you sick. Like, so if I'm not happy with the service or not happy with the food, we just won't ever go back.
Yeah, that's
kind of how we are.
A dear old friend of mine, she's no longer with us. Her name was Gwen, and she used to come around to my karaoke's. It's quite a few years ago now, and she said exactly the same. She said, if you ever have a bad meal in a restaurant, don't complain. Just finish, or whatever you're doing, leave the restaurant and don't go back. But don't complain, because once that plate goes back out to the kitchen, you have no idea what's going to happen to it.
Oh, yeah, and I never send food back either.
No.
Because you don't want to piss the cook off. Because I just don't do it. If I don't like it, I'll be like, okay, whatever. I mean, we just ordered a meal the other day because my dad's down here. He lives like 3.5 hours away from me, and I hadn't seen him for almost a year. So we celebrated his birthday on Saturday night, and my sister ordered some food from a burger place called Red Robin. And we got our food, and well, it wasn't that great, and my husband's burger was half done, and I mean, I just ended up throwing it out. Not that I really like to throw away food, but at the same time, if it's not good,
yeah,
I'm not going to eat it.
No. I mean, with the McDonald's thing, I think McDonald's fair. I've never had a bad meal from McDonald's, but I get the opinion they'd have a quick look at it and just give you another bag of brand new stuff and chuck that away.
Mhm.
Yeah. So you're quite right there.
I also wanted to tell you, I can't text you anymore. I think that your phone doesn't have the. It must not allow text to come through outside of like the European countries. That's what I'm thinking, because I was able to text you before with your old number, but when you changed it, they don't go through.
No. We said that before. I don't know why that is. I have no idea why that is. It should be 447451287337. I don't know what it's. So it's 0044, isn't it, for you to get out?
Yep.
0044. 7451287337. We get the calls in from Europe. They seem to come through all right. But I think you're the second person from America who's tried to text in, and I don't know why that is.
Yeah, I just think it's odd because, like, I never had any problems before.
With the other number, yeah.
Extra stuff. Yeah, I even got the extra plan on my phone so that I could call you. I pay, like, what is it, $5 or $10 a month extra so that I can call over to you.
What, to text? Oh, well, to phone or text?
To text and call.
Oh, well, the text certainly doesn't work, and I don't know why that is. Sorry, Glenda, I've really no idea why that is.
No, it's okay. My husband said it's just because you don't want me to talk to you.
That's a lie. It's him, Glenda. Give him a slap.
No, I would never do that.
Tell me, has your vaccination thing, is that better now you've got the different president? Do you think that's made a difference as well, or just the same? Because
I'm happy that he's in office. I'm a Biden supporter. I never really cared for Trump. Now, I mean, let me just get it straight. I didn't care for Trump's demeanor, and I didn't like the way he talked to people. If he would have just went into the office, done his policies, and kept his mouth shut, he would have been okay. But he ran his mouth too much, and he wasn't professional. And so I think that that's the reason why he didn't get elected this last time. It wasn't like it's not that he had some bad policies, because some of them were actually fairly good. But Biden, like, we just got another stimulus about a month ago. Like, they handed out a bunch of money. My husband and I each got, total $2,800. Everybody got $1,400, and the people that had children, like, they got an extra so much. Like, so we were able to get more money, and now I think all together we got $2,800 with the last stimulus, and before that we got $1,200, and before that we got, was it $2,400?
That's all right. So, you have to wonder. You have to wonder where all this money comes from. I mean, we've got money's been given out here, left, right, and centre. I didn't get any at all. Nothing.
Well, as far as us, I think he's going to raise the taxes for the really, really rich people here.
Yeah. Well,
I think that's what his philosophy is.
It'll be a long-term thing, won't it? Just the same as like paying for the war all those years ago. You know, they borrow all this money, and then over decades, they pay it back. What you've got to hope is that the interest rate doesn't go up.
Well, I just refinanced my house. So,
to give you a bit of money.
I mean, I'm fine. I'm fine as far as like the interest rate. That doesn't really bother me.
Well, lovely to talk to you, Glenda.
Yes, it was nice to talk to you too, and I'm glad that you're doing okay and that you had a nice Easter.
Yeah, and you too. I'm sorry you can't text in. I'll look into it, and I'll send the people a message, and I'll see what they say. You never know. Maybe they'd be able to do something with it, and you can try again at some point. All right, my love?
Okay.
Thank you, Glenda.
Well, thank you. Take care of yourself.
And love to your husband.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, my love. Bye-bye. There we are, Glenda in Pennsylvania. She's lovely when she calls in. It's really nice to hear from Glenda. Good evening to Stephen Petty. Good evening, Stephen. Mick Davenport says, I bought a curry from a Chinese. It had a screw and a daddy long legs in it. Oh, no. Really? Daddy long legs. Daddy long legs. Ah, daddy long legs. As little boys, we're talking here 7 or 8 years old, we used to catch, it's a terrible thing, and I'm not proud of this, we used to catch daddy long legses, because they're so easy to catch, pull the legs and wings off, and watch the body just wriggle. Isn't that an awful thing to... Why do little boys do that? Why do little boys do that? Even my nephew, Jimmy, when he was little, he used to take great pleasure in putting salt on snails and watching them die in agony. Awful. Awful. Another call coming in. Daniel's on the line. Good evening, Daniel.
Good evening, Chris. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. You're coming in loud and clear. Good evening, Daniel. How's your face tonight?
My face? My face? Well, it's very nice and radiant, thank you.
Radiant? Is it radiant, dear?
Yeah, I can feel slight stubble coming through from last night's shave, but...
Clean. Look at the effort I go to look fantastic as I do on this worldwide famous programme, as featured on BBC television.
Yes.
Won't be on there again, I suppose, but there we are.
Well, I mean, I know you've said before, Chris, about we thought we was hemorrhaging viewers and...
Hemorrhaging, dear! Hemorrhaging!
Yeah. Well, I think... Do you know what I think it is, Chris?
What is it, love?
This is what I think, you know... Because you are, you know, me and you, we have got one thing in common, you know, I think. We're both revolutionists.
Revolutionists? I like that. We're revolutionists.
Yeah.
Do you think so?
Absolutely. We both do things that, like, you know, probably way ahead of our time. You know, that's what United Kingdom talk is. It's something that is way ahead of its time, you know, and it's a bit like when Harry Beck invented the tube map, you know, at first. I don't know.
I don't know about that, you see, because I think part of the problem with what I do is that kind of I've got 1 foot there and 1 foot there. Now, if you watch something like Alex, you know Alex Bellsfield. He's right over to one side and he tells you exactly how it is. And there's no filter on him. He doesn't have a filter on him, right? Whereas, and you know, That's where he is. And you look at another side and it swings that way. I'm kind of a bit there and a bit there. And I've been told before, you don't really know where you want to be, do you? And the answer to that is no, I don't. I don't really know where I want to be. On one hand, I might have some thoughts about something and I'll think to myself, I won't talk about that because that might upset some people. But on the other hand, I say little things which I mean nothing by. The whole Gemma Collins thing, to me, it's just a little bit of a laugh. But other people, certainly at the BBC, would be mortally upset if I said anything like that. Do you see what I mean? So I'm kind of half, I've got one leg there and my legs are wide open. And I don't know where I should be. And I think if I go that way, you're going to hurt some people that way. If you go that way, you're going to piss some people off that way. And you just can't win, really. And I think that's probably what the problem is. But will it change? Doubtful, I just do my thing and I'm kind of happy with it. We did try last year and sort of pull it up a bit, but it didn't work. But never mind. We're kind of happy just sitting here with 3 or 4 people, plodding along, dear, slowly.
Yeah.
But you are a revolutionist, are you? Tell me, what revolutionary things have you done today, Dan?
Well, I don't know about today.
Oh, okay. Yesterday?
Well, yesterday, all over along me. I've just tried to I know I don't want to go too much into the bingo, easy book bingo thing, but because that's obviously the main thing I'm doing at the moment. But I think overall, I may very well. All right, so supposing I am diagnosed with autism or Asperger's syndrome or ADHD, OCD, whatever you want to call it. But I like to think that I've, brought a good sense of humour into it, really.
A sense of humour into what?
Well, the fact that I may have this so-called disability, as they like to call it, but I'm not really taking myself too seriously, really. I've just seen the funny side of things, and.
Oh well, you see, that's me down to a T. So. You're quite right there. I see the funny side in the most awful things. Really. I could say something now and you would be shocked that how can he find that funny? But I do. I look at all sorts of things. Maybe it's because I was a 60s and 70s child and that was the humour then. I love all the Bernard Manning and the Stan Boardman videos that I find on YouTube and, jokes about this, that and the other. And they would die, these people. These people would die if they heard some of these jokes on there, but I find them funny. I can see funny in lots of different things, and so can my mate. My mate is exactly the same as me. We joke about things that you would be so shocked that you'd heard us joke about something.
I wonder if maybe the reason why certain people are the way they are today, with all this humour thing, is that perhaps. Maybe in the 60s, 70s and the 80s, I suppose, people didn't know enough about things like they do today. Because nowadays people know more, that they end up finding out more bits of information about things so that they know then. And then when you tell that joke like now that you told about 40 years ago, it ends up like people do start despising certain things because they know too much, whereas... No, I don't know. Have I got that right? Perhaps I'm not.
No, you say what you think, my love. You say what you think. There's no
filter.
I just
wonder if people are too clued up. People know a bit too much now.
All I ask is that people don't swear, But if you're in a conversation, as you well know, Daniel, if you're in a conversation with me on here and you swear, I won't cut you off. It's watch out with the language, please. You don't get cut off straight away or anything like that. And we don't really want to upset people for whatever reason. But sometimes people just see upset where there wasn't any created. They just want to see it. They just want to find something wrong somewhere so that they can tell everyone that they're a blooming victim again,
Yeah, I think people are so what's that word? People are oh god, what
touchy.
Touchy? No, I mean, too intimidated or take things more personally?
Too snowflakey.
Well, yeah, that as well. Yeah, I mean, people have got too like snowflakey and just just get hurt by like the slightest little things.
They look to be hurt when no hurt was given. I mean,
Yeah.
even with these shows I put on the stage, these drag shows, right? You can have a drag act on there, do a joke now, and someone starts, oh, you can't say that, that's really offensive. Well, that never used to happen back in the 90s. People would just stand there and allow themselves to be entertained. Now, they just want to find something wrong with it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, actually, I remember. Do you remember when Dave Allen he did his last
Oh,
ever series
hilarious!
on?
Sitting on that stool with his whiskey and his cigarettes. Yeah, I
Wow.
do. Wonderful.
This was actually his last ever series. He got off the stool by then. It was when he did it when Colton came. When he did it, they took Dave Allen from the BBC and did a series for him on Colton. And you always used to start every programme. Now, I was only like 12 or 13 at the time. I was allowed to stay up and watch this. And they'd start every programme. The humour of Dave Allen may contain material that some people might find offensive. Well, I never used to find anything offensive.
Oh, God, blimey, innit? That's
So,
all-
what's on your knitting pattern for tonight's show here that things you've been saying about so far?
knitting
What was it
pattern.
about
What
food?
knitting pattern? I'm not doing knitting.
So I meant agenda.
Agenda.
Yeah.
Well, aren't you prepared? Don't you know already?
Oh, I know. I've got.
We haven't got very far, to be honest. We've only got to the thing at the top, which was the bad
that's the
meals.
worst meal you've ever been had.
Yeah. Have you ever had a bad meal out?
Not really. No, I
No,
think
not-
the only food bit of strange thing about food I would say is with fish shops. I haven't actually had anything from them for a long time. But what I don't understand is now we've had Eston Blumenfeld come on, show you how to cook chips 3 times, so they really are like Central Station and the way I would do them. And yet you go in chip shops and they are limp. Their chips are just like. I don't remember the last if I've went in a chips that actually had the chips as equal as I would cook them here at Mum's.
Yeah. Once they've gone limp, you can't do anything with them, Daniel.
Well, yeah.
Useless.
You could,
I've had the same thing in Chariots. They go limp, and it'll be all right in a minute, mate. No, it won't. It's gone limp. Pull another one in as quickly as possible. That's what I say.
Yeah. Well, what I do actually is do exactly what the same thing with this 3 times cooked chips is that if I've got a load from a fish shop, right, and I say I've only eaten a few, and I don't think the rest are a bit, oh God, I don't really fancy it. I still put them in the fridge, and then you're doing the same thing with the 3 times. You're putting the fridge that dries them out, and then you take them out either late or even in the morning, have them for breakfast, and then actually put them in the fryer. And then you've done it. You've actually made the 3 times cooked chips because you're drying them out in the fridge.
Chips for breakfast.
Oh, I have had them. Oh, yeah. There's a cafe down the road to me. They always do chips.
Oh, hang on a minute.
24/7.
Yeah. When I worked for BT, we used to stop somewhere for breakfast and we'd have chips. Chips, sausages, beans, fried egg, and something else. And toast. Oh, yes. We used to have that every morning. Never used to put on any weight, though, because I was climbing up and down telegraph poles at the time. So you never used to put on any weight.
No, yeah, you must certainly have been losing loads of weight up there. I mean, I'd lose weight just being up there.
Oh, the worst, those telegraph poles, it was all right. You know, once you got used to climbing up them, it was great. Except the worst one, it was by a train line. And if it was at the top of this telegraph pole, this train used to come past. The bloody thing used to shake like anything. It was awful. Terrifying, really. You just used to hold on to the pole. Great fun that was. All right, Daniel.
Okay, Chris. Nice
Thank you for
talking
your
to
call
mate.
tonight, sir.
Yeah, very good. Lovely.
Cheerio.
All right. See you then Wednesday. Bye.
There's Daniel, a revolutionist, boys and girls. A revolutionist is on this programme today. 0208 144 3477 if you want to call us in. Hello, Vera says, I've been a vegetarian for 55 years now and trying to... How old are you, Vera? 55? How old are you? You ain't. I didn't think you was. How old are you? I've been a vegetarian 55 years, and trying to find food for me to eat in a restaurant in the early days was hard work. Yes, you want to go to Euro Disney, V? Impossible. I lived on pizzas. Even the McDonald's at Euro Disney didn't have a veggie burger. Oh, I'll just have chips and an apple pie then, please. Dreadful. Really hard to find a vegetarian meal at Euro Disney. So Vera says that, so they would give me a plate of dry veg without gravy. Oh dear. Hello to Andy. Andy. Good evening, Andy. Evening, Chris. Good watching you while I'm doing some diamond art. Oh, what's that diamond art? Have you got diamonds there? Diamonds. Rihanna done that, didn't she? Diamonds. Rumble Bumble. Hearing you listen to Bernard Manning for a laugh, Chris. How about Derek and Clive? That rings a bell. Derek and Clive. That's a long time ago, isn't it? Rumble Bumble says, I used to listen to their tapes years ago and stumbled across them on YouTube. Really sad. I remember most of the sketches word for word. God. And they never get away with it in today's PC world. I mean, another one I was watching today. Oh, who's Tommy Cooper? Tommy Cooper. Oh, hilarious. And some of his jokes, again, are you couldn't do now. But others are completely and utterly inoffensive. And he's standing on the stage with his fez on, isn't he? Doing in front of magic tricks. He said, I know what I wanted to tell you. Do you know, I was a baby once. You go, I was a baby once. You know, a baby. Can you believe it? I was ugly when I was a child. What? It's just the way he told it. And he looked straight at the audience. I was really ugly as a child. What? So funny, Tommy Cooper. He died on stage, didn't he? Died on the stage at the London Palladium. They thought it was a joke. Got any young people on who don't know Tommy Cooper? It was a big-time comedian. Hugely popular. And he was on the stage at the London Palladium doing a show, and he kind of collapsed down onto the floor. People thought it was the act. Even the stagehands. Oh, that's funny, Tommy, that's funny. Anyway, time went on, and he never got up. He died there and then in front of his audience. Not a bad way to go, is it, I suppose? Doing what you love. Eh? Something like that. Oh, sorry. Andy. Oh, Adrian, where'd we go? I just missed something out then. Adrian Richardson. Good evening. How's the chocolate? My mum really liked the chocolate I got her for Easter. The expensive stuff. Good boy, Adrian. Nothing is too expensive for your mother. Mike in Brighton. You talking about chariots and the limp chips. Put another one in, dear. Send another one over, please. Don't even try. It's not. No, it won't be better in a minute. It won't. Done. Bye. Vera turned 60 in February. I never knew you were 60, Vera. It's true, girl. The black don't crack, does it? You don't look 60. No way. No way. You look younger than me. And you must know that, Vera. You must know that. Is there any chance I could show them a picture of how old you look? Perhaps not today, but only if you want to. Maybe you could send me a picture of how you are, and then I can prove to them how young you look. There's no way I thought you were 60, Vera. Especially not the way you muck around with me in Central Station when I go to pinch your ears. Do you not think, Vera, you know, when your mum perhaps was 60, do you not think you're younger than she was at 60, if you see what I mean? I certainly don't feel like I'm 58 sitting here, you know. I'm glad I'm not a teenager, certainly this day and age, all the knives. And we never had knives, did we, Vera? You know, well, I mean, we did, and we had knives in the Scouts. When it was in Scout camp, you know, and Cub camp, to be fair. Back in the 70s, we boys 14, 15, 16 years old. We had knives like this. At camp, We had knives that long, and we would have little fights, but it wouldn't go through. I've said this before. It wouldn't go through your head to pick up a knife and plunge it into someone else. You could have a row and a fight with another boy in the Scouts, and the knives are next to you on the table. You wouldn't dream of picking up that knife and plunging it into someone's chest like the kids are doing now. I don't get it, how that happened. How we got to that. Was it television? Computer games? Don't know, do we really? 16 February, gosh. Rumble Bumble, Peter Cook and Dudley Moore, Derek and Clive. There we go. Dudley Moore, he was great, wasn't he? Dudley Moore. I like him. Arthur. If you get stuck between the moon and New York City. Actually, let's have that as a bed on tomorrow's radio show. I've got that. I can't play it now. Hang on a minute. Let's pull that out. Where shall we put that tomorrow? That can be that. A bed is a little bit of music that I talk over. Okay, let's put that as 1, 2, 3, fourth. The fourth bed. Hang on. Was it Arthur's theme in it? There it is. Arthur's theme. There we go. That'll be on tomorrow morning while I'm talking over the top of it. Thank you very much for that suggestion there. Very good. Vera's going to send in over a picture of her at some point. Yeah, and I'll put it on the next show. All right, my love. Clarissa, Peter Cook and Dudley Moore. Thank you very much. She's saying as well there. Thank you, Clarissa. John Parrish, Tommy Cooper joke. Guy goes to the doctor, says, Doctor, I've broke my arm in several places. Doctor says, well, stay out of them. Tommy Cooper. You see, the thing is, most of us on here are sort of that age where we remember these comedians. You know, a lot of people. Jim Davidson, I thought he was brilliant. Other people would say terribly homophobic. I don't believe a word of it, you see. Jim Davidson would have worked in this sort of industry. A lot of gay people working in this industry. I very much doubt that he was homophobic towards anyone. He might have said what he considered a joke, and I would consider a joke. You know, you can say almost anything to me. I take it as a joke. But other people don't see it like that anymore. They see it as abuse. Nastiness, a phobia. You know, I don't see it like that. I quite happily have Jim Davidson or someone like that sitting here now doing the same jokes. I remember this lefty on blooming Radio 5 Live. And anyway, he was interviewing Jim Davidson and he says, do you want to apologise? I can't remember what the subject was, to this particular group of people about what you said. No, because it was a joke. I've got nothing to apologise for. And this bloke on Radio 5, can't think of his name now, he just could not understand what a joke was. All he saw was offence in it. And I don't see life like that. As I said before to Dan earlier, I don't really see much offence in stuff. If someone comes up to me in the street and says, what you looking at, you effing puff, that is offensive. Okay? But I've been in pubs, working in straight pubs, and a lad has slapped me on the arse. You're right, you old puff. That is not offensive. Now, maybe it's because those of us on here have got larger brains than these people that are offensive all the time. And we can separate the offence from the joke. Because there's a lot of people out there who can't. Therefore, we are more intelligent than them. Am I right? Am I right? Andy says, did you hear about someone complaining about some mothers do have them? Yes, I saw that. They said that was homophobic. Didn't get the joke. Sorry if you've ever mentioned it before. I saw that today. One of the best BBC comedies ever. Some mothers do have them is homophobic. Please do us a favour. Do us a favour. Hello to Shania. Good evening, Shania. Evening, Shania. Shania, can I ask a question? Do you find it easier to stay awake while this show is on than you do while your dad's doing his radio show? It's just something I've noticed over the last few weeks. With various photos that are sent to me. Huh? Ollie, hello Ollie. is having to cover JK, that's his dad, 2-hour show on Friday. He's got no clue what his show is about because it's his weekend starts here one. Any ideas? Just do your thing, Ollie. Don't try and copy someone else on the radio. You've got to be yourself. I know it's your dad's show and all that. Do your thing. Hello, my name's Ollie K. Dad's not here tonight, or I don't know what you call you. Do you call your dad on the radio, or do you call him JK on the radio? I don't know. But whatever you do your thing. Don't try and copy someone else because it doesn't work. I mean, we've seen it on the telly before. People trying to take on someone else and doesn't work. You can be inspired by someone, whether that be your dad or someone else. Radio music-wise, I am inspired by Tony Blackburn. That's who inspired. But I do not try and copy him. I am inspired by Tony Blackburn. In fact, people have said to me sometimes, "Oh, you can tell who your inspiration," and they say Tony Blackburn. That's right, yeah. And on the talk shows, I am inspired by Steve Allen, LBC, and another bloke who died some years ago. He was on talk radio. He was as dry as anything. Can't remember his name. It was John Parrish. He'd be someone that you'd listen to, I would imagine. He was always going on about speed cameras. So I'm inspired by Steve Allen and Dicky. Could it be Dicky? Hang on a minute. Talk radio host. That died. Talk radio host that died. UK talk radio host that died. Mike Dickin. Mike Dickin inspired me. Steve Allen inspires me. Nick Abbott kind of inspires me a little bit. And also the bloke on talk radio in the morning, Mike someone or other. He's on every morning, 10 o'clock. They inspire me, but I do not try and copy them. Don't try and copy them. Sometimes you can look at someone who's been inspired by other people and see elements of those other people in them. I think John Parrish has noticed it a couple of times, hasn't he? Vera says, I've never felt like any age, to be honest, and I never got stopped going into clubs, unlike my younger friends. They always got stopped. I never got stopped, Fee, but I only was ever asked once my age, and that was on my 21st birthday when I was going into a pub next to the Hammersmith Palais. Did you ever go there? That was great in there. So 21, that would be 79, 80, 81, 82, 80, 83, 82, 83, one of those days. I got married in 1983. Lasted for 9 months. Can you believe? I couldn't believe I got to 9 months, to be honest. Thank you, Vera. George Bond likes Peter Kay. Again, very funny, Peter Kay. Mike in Brighton, always on the lookout for a bed for you. You might like the opening tune for L.A. Law. Oh, let's write that down. L.A. Law. Okay. L.A. Law bed. I'll have a look at that one. Thank you. We like a nice bit of music. Shania said she was particularly tired yesterday. She'd done 5 days straight of being in church. It got the better of me yesterday. Rested for most of the day and feel much better. Good, Shania. You're like Jesus. All that work, having a rest, and then rising from the dead. Hopefully you'll be able to pay full attention to your father's show next Sunday on Vexis Radio. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. It's Vectis and Shania in our Sunday afternoon. Da-da-da-da-da. Vectis Radio. Blah-blah. Island Sounds. You can have that jingle for nothing. Wait till the show's finished and you may remove that if you want. Did you want it clean? Okay, I'll do it again for you. Are you ready? Get ready to record. Here it comes. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. It's Vectis and Shania on a Sunday afternoon. Da-da-da. Vectis Radio. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Across the island. There you go. You can take that out and use that as a jingle. No charge. No charge. That's why I don't make any money. Don't charge for anything. Never mind. We're happy sitting here. Ollie K, wink, wink. The whole of the BBC is gonna try and copy the whole of the BBC. Are they still on air? Local. Does anyone listen to BBC? I know they listen to a lot of BBC Lincolnshire, but I don't. I think there's a very small amount of people listening to BBC local radio now. I don't know why they're bothering with that. In actual fact, you'd be surprised how little BBC local radio costs in comparison to the television is very expensive. Oh, talking to television, I'm sorry. Easter Sunday, The Sound of Music. Are you for real? BBC One? Was it BBC One? Someone was showing The Sound of It on Easter Sunday. I'm sure it was BBC One. I'm like, where's the new films? Dreadful. Dreadful. Hello to Russ Vernon. Good evening, Russ. Hi, Chris. Hope you're doing well. I'm hoping to get back into radio very soon. What short of topics should I talk about? I don't know, dear. Pick up a newspaper and work it out yourself, my love. This is not an organisation here that I give out information like that, dear. Do you want me to write the bloody show for you, dear? Do it yourself, you lazy gits. Dear me. Evening, Russ. Adrian got asked when he was 25 for his age, but he was running pubs at 5 years, for 5 years. Never looked young. I think you are blind or to... What? I think you are blind or to chat up line. Try that again, Adrian. Can't understand it. Shania says, I'm very kind. I try to be kind. It's very difficult sometimes to be kind. Very, very difficult. I try. I pray every night that I can be a nicer person. Now, we've got a little video to show you here, gang, of George Bond's latest archery session. Are you ready for this? George has been firing the arrows. Shoot that poison arrow through my heart. Shoot that poison arrow. Da, 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 da. That one. Ready? Here's George and another bow and arrow programme. Live here on United Kingdom Talk. At last! I didn't think you was going to get that in there, George. Well done, dear. There we are, our latest George Bond shooting video. Thank you, George. Thank you, George. Well done, sir. I didn't think that was going to get in there. I beg your pardon. Danny Woodhouse says Tommy Cooper died at Her Majesty's. Not the Palladium. Thank you. Good evening to Richard Morris. Evening, Richard, who says it's a shame to hear that Titty has retired. Thanks so much. He sent me a picture there at one of her birthdays. Sadly, I can't show that immediately, Richard, to put that on there. I can hold it for the next show if that's all right, Richard. I meant to ring you today to wish you happy Easter. My friend Richard Morris. Are you still with us? I know you sent that an hour ago. One of the things I keep forgetting to do is checking the emails coming through there. Sorry about that, gang. Sometimes I do forget to check the emails. Richard, I do hope you're still with us, Richard. Any chance you could just little message back and tell me that you're still there or not? I'm sorry, it's very rude of me not to check the emails. There's so much going on and trying to remember stuff all the time. Phone lines are now closed. Thanks very much for your phone calls today. I've closed them because there's still a little bit to get through. And if I take another call, we won't get to through all our other stuff there. All right. Adrian says they're blind. I can see how old I was. It was a chat-up line to me again. Thank you, Adrian there. Russ says, hope you had a good Easter. Yeah, it was all right. Thanks very much. Easter was nice. Ollie K, my sister just got asked for ID to purchase ibuprofen and didn't get ID for bleach. Do you have to have ID for bleach as well? Do you really? Oh, I didn't like that. Cheryl Lynn, Shake It Up, 1981. Okay, let's write that down for you. Cheryl Lynn. I know got to something. I don't know if I know Shake It. Was it Shake It Up? Up tonight. Okay, I'll look for that one for you, darling. Thanks very much for that, my love. Laptop. Oh, laptop news. So my laptop is done, basically. They've quoted me, I think, something like £350 for a repair because they can't get another motherboard. It's got to come over from China. And he's told me, to be honest, the price it's going to cost for a repair, you're better off to get a new one. Unfortunately, laptops, as I think I mentioned on the previous show, have shot up. And the quote was 660 quid. And I really, it's another huge bill. And I'm like, oh, God. And, of course, there's no guarantee. I don't have a guarantee of work yet. So it's quite possible I could end up buying a brand new laptop and all that. Anyway, I said go ahead with it because I was worried. I want to be ready if the work comes. I want to be ready. Pick up the phone. I can be there in an hour. I want to be ready. But I'm not. I've got the backup laptop. And I think it was Mike in Brighton. I was talking to him on the phone the other day. He said that would be all right for a little while, your backup laptop. But then I rung up another very good friend of mine who does karaoke, and he has several laptops, okay, that he has as spares, and he's going to sell me one of his. So that's handy. The only thing is I have said to them, go ahead with this, but that was on Friday. So this has all been Easter, so he wouldn't have been open. So I've sent him another message to say, look, I've no guarantee that the work's going to come in. If it's all right with you, I'll hold back on this. Let me know how much I owe you for the diagnosis of the old one. You don't expect to have that done for free. He's found out what's wrong with it and told me. I expect to pay for that. I don't believe in something for nothing when it comes to that sort of thing. So I've offered him whatever that will cost. And I'll leave it at that. And hopefully he hasn't ordered it yet, if you see what I mean. But he might have done. So that's the laptop news there. Did you get all your Easter eggs delivered? Because apparently some people didn't. Oh, yes. Some people didn't get their Easter eggs delivered. Asda and Tesco's in the Sun. Asda and Tesco's customers were furious after finding their Easter eggs were missing from online deliveries. And they often do stuff like this, don't they? They change stuff in your basket. You order shampoo and they send you, I don't know, fairy liquid or something like that. But these people didn't have their eggs. Terrible for a child not to receive something, isn't it? It's all right if you're an adult, Oh, I've forgotten you. Oh, it's all right. Don't worry about that. But as a child, not to get your Easter egg or Christmas present, it's like a pretty serious issue, isn't it? Shoppers, apparently, according to The Sun, had ordered chocolate eggs to be delivered in time for the Easter weekend, only to be left empty-handed with items of stock. Customers from Tesco's and Asda took to social media to complain, moaning. One customer slammed Tesco and claimed her kids' Easter eggs were missing from the order. Another one claimed none of the Easter eggs she had ordered had arrived, none of them at all. Terrible, really. You see, I'm of the opinion that, well, how late did you actually leave this? Did you order these Easter eggs on the very last delivery? Because if you do that, there's no room for an error. Whatever I do in my life, I leave room for error. It's like when I travel to work. The journey may be 1 hour and 50 minutes. I'll give it 2 hours. When I go to an appointment somewhere, The appointment might be at 11 o'clock. I will aim to be there at 10:15. Really, that early? I'd rather be early than late. And with stuff like Easter eggs, well, I ordered some Easter eggs from Hotel Chocolate. Not the cheapest. They were £10 each. They were three for £27, and then they added on another £5 blooming postage on that. But you know, whatever, that's how it was. So £33, I think they were, for 3 Easter eggs. But I ordered them, a week or more ahead of Easter. And at the end of the day, you can buy Easter eggs January. You know how it is. After Christmas, they've got these damn things, and they're going to go off. They got them in. So why would you leave it till the last minute? So, in a way, these people have only got themselves to blame, I think, really. When you do these, I go into a supermarket. When I go into a supermarket, it's very rare that they haven't got something that I want. Very rare. But it does seem to happen a lot on these delivery things, doesn't it? And as the spokesperson says, our customers have been preparing for Easter earlier than usual this year, and we have sold more eggs than ever before. Unfortunately, this means some of the customers' eggs may have become out of stock by the time the delivery is made. Get them early. You leave them to the last minute. It's like these people going, Christmas presents, Christmas Eve. Now, admittedly, I used to do that. There's actually something about rushing around on Christmas Eve, isn't there? Carting around those blooming nightmare, really. And at 6 o'clock Christmas Eve, you arrive back home and there you've got your presents. I think there's actually something there as well, doing it like that. I always do it way ahead now. I start ordering stuff on Amazon in end of November, really. No earlier than that. End of November, I'm starting to order stuff on Amazon ready for Christmas. But I have left it till Christmas Eve, and there is actually something about going out to the shops and the hustle and bustle of the same people that have left it till the last minute. It's not the way to do it, really, but there's an atmosphere, isn't there, of excitement and trepidation. Are you going to be able to find that My Little Pony or I don't know, Scale or the computer game that everyone wants this year? What, a Christmas Eve? You'll be blooming lucky, mate. Oh, just give them one of those multi-pack sweets. What are they called? Those sweet boxes they've got. What are they called now? When you get like the Cadbury's thing, there's a Mars bar and a flake and a fudge. Oh, we do like a bit of fudge. What are they called? Christmas box? Don't know what they're called now. The Sun goes on to say about Asda, we've contacted all customers whose eggs were out of stock and I hope they're able to swap this for a different egg or another one of our 4 great Easter treats. So there we are. Tesco's spokesman says, we're sorry to hear a small number of customers didn't receive an Easter egg with their online delivery. We have had good availability throughout the week, and on the few occasions that Easter eggs were missing from orders, it's because of the popularity in selected locations. So there we are. I mean, it's... Christ's sake, there's people out there who can't eat. They got no food. They got no water. They have to travel 10 miles to get like dirty water from puddles in Africa. And you're moaning about Easter eggs? Do me a favour. Dear me. That's right, Vera. Tommy Cooper did die on it. Rachel, thank you, Rachel. Selection box, that's the thing. Selection box, yes. Don't worry about the computer games and the bike and the electric train set. Just give them as a selection box. There you are. Happy Christmas, mate. Ollie K, postage costs have gone through the roof. I paid £5 for delivery on some new clothes. You're right. Postal costs have gone through the roof. It's one of the main costs I have on Sunday night to send out prizes and things. Postal costs, probably prizes and post probably cost me more to post it than actually buy the prizes now. It's ridiculous. You can go with other people other than the post office, but I've never really found Hermes are just a joke. I call them herpes. They're just a joke, aren't they? Anyway, that's the Easter eggs. Don't want to wear your mask on a plane? There's a great video in the Daily Star. One of those people I don't want to wear a mask. I think one of the problems with the whole mask thing, now, there are people with disabilities, but they don't have to prove it. I'm sorry, but anyone could go into Sainsbury's. Excuse me, you need a mask. I've got a disability. I don't need to wear one. And they don't have to prove it. Well, I'm sorry. No, you do have to blooming prove it. In my world, I think you should have some sort of proof that you're not allowed to wear a mask, because there's all sorts of people wandering around Sainsbury's and Tesco's and all that with no mask. There's nothing damn well wrong with them. The same sort of people that claim their benefits, dear. Claim benefits. The house is paid for and they're working on people's cars or fixing roofs. You know the sort. Well, this old piece of baggage was on a plane. Southwestern Airlines. It's an American airline. A plane full of passengers and flight attendants broke out into applause when a couple were booted off plane for allegedly ignoring face mask rules. And I watched it, and this woman, she's screaming and shouting at the poor flight attendant who's only doing her job. Please put your mask on. It's all you got to do. Pull it up there. And no, it doesn't stop you breathing. What a load of old bull that is. Really. The incident took place last week on the Southwest Airlines flight moments before the takeoff. Video taken by a passenger shows a male crew talking to a blonde woman in the front row about face mask regulations. The woman can be heard saying, "You're saying I didn't comply and put my mask back on when you asked me to. Are you seriously telling me that I didn't put my mask on when you asked me to? You are a liar." As she gets up and removes her bags from the overhead cabin, other passengers clap their hands and cheer. I would, wouldn't you? That's just awful, not knowing how to behave on an aeroplane. It's disgusting. All those people held up because of you. I love it. And there's loads of those videos, TikTok videos and on YouTube. I love watching the videos where people who didn't know how to behave in front of other people have been dragged off the plane. I think they should be dragged off by their hair. I'd like to see that. Screaming and shouting and spitting and scratching at people. Disgusting scum. Same sort of people that drop litter around here. Scum, dear, scum. Anyway, that's in the Daily Star there. Mike just had a brainwave. Well, that must be the first one for years, dear. Has your brain started working again? He says, I would like to make a mix using good old 80s workers like the Birdie song to all of your Tourette's outbursts in last night bingo. What Tourette's is this? I'm sorry, are you taking the mick out of my disability, Mike? I'm offended. You hate disabled people like myself, don't you? Take his name, someone. Mike in Brighton. Can you stand up and give a twirl of the jacket? Very Versace. No. God. Oh, wide angle camera then. You ready? You mad fool. George, asthma people have to wear masks. They can wear those flower lanyards. I can't. Why can't you wear a mask? You mean to tell me a piece of paper is going to stop the air going in? I don't believe you. I'm sorry. I got asthma. Putting a mask on does not stop the air getting through. Russ had heart surgery when he was 5 years old. He's got bad asthma, but he still wears a face mask. There you go, Russ. He complies. No problem. No problem. It's all crap. It's in their heads. This is beautiful, isn't it? This really is a work of art. Clarissa bought me this, my friend. What are you going to buy me, Mike? Oh, yes, the afternoon tea at the Grand in Brighton. Oh, I'm so looking forward to that. Do you want to set a date? Shall I book it? Don't book 26 to the... Don't book it in April, my darling, all right? Because we've got holiday coming up. Holiday. Holiday. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Holiday. And then I've got dentist on Friday the 7th of May. Surgery. Mo the dentist is going to be drilling into my head. He better not cough on me. I will be upset if he coughs on me. A cheap hot tub. Ever fancied a hot tub? Audi's doing them. Not my cup of tea, to be honest. A hot tub. I don't mind being in the sort of, you know, the bubble bath in Chariots, which is closed now. That's quite nice. But to sit in dirty water, and there's nothing dirtier than the water in Chariots, I suppose. But to sit in the dirty water in a spa, not really for me. However, they got a cheap one. It's advertised in the Sun. Audi are doing them. Now, when I say cheap, they're not. What they are is cheaper than if you was to have a proper spa put in. So these are inflatable things. Presumably you can get holes in them, I don't know. But in the Sun, it's advertising Audi's sellout inflatable hot tub is coming back this week, but you'll have to be quick if you want to snap one up. The Intex luxurious spa pool will be available to order online from Easter, Sunday, April the 4th. You need to act fast, though, as hot tubs have sold out in under 2 weeks when the discounter stocked them from previous years. Now, when I say they're cheap, these are still £349.99, 350 quid. Now, that's a lot of money to be spending, I think. And the story carries on. It may sound a lot of cash, but we've had a look around and it's actually a bargain. The 4-person Clever Spa Mevia will set you back £388 from B&Q. The inflatable Clever Spas Inyo costs £400 from Argos. So 300 quid, 350 quid is a lot of money, isn't it? Don't you think? Those spas, those proper sort of spas that you can buy and they get installed in like a spare, like an outdoor room in your house. No. Thousands of pounds. So if you want one, you know, it's a relatively cheap way of doing it. I don't know how easy it is to put a hole in one of those, you know. I mean, obviously, you know, you put them on, sometimes you put them on the floor, you might not have noticed there's a stone underneath it and that'll gradually work its way in, won't it? Vera says all airlines should get customers to sign something before they board the plane in regards to wearing a mask. I'm absolutely agreeing with you. What consideration for the other travellers? It's these people. I'll do what I want when I want to do it. You know the sort. Adrian says, I'm very good looking, but I still wear my mask. Well, you know, Adrian, the bigger the mask, the better, I think, in your case, my love. Mike wears his mask when he's buying 20 Rothmans at the shop. You still smoking, Mike? We'll book afternoon tea when I find out my shifts in my new job. A week to go. He's starting his new job, Mike in Brighton. Good luck with that, darling, all right? Good luck with that. Any news on karaoke down in Brighton? Anything like that? Anyone want something there? George says, a mask feels someone is suffocating. No, I'm sorry, George. It's in your head. A mask is not going to suffocate you. Certainly not those flimsy little paper things that the nurses wear. It's not going to suffocate you. You think it's suffocating you, but it's not. I know where you're coming from because I was the same. I was the same when we started wearing masks back in March. I thought, I can't breathe with this. But then you forget it. You kind of force yourself to forget about it. And then 10 minutes later, you think, I still can't breathe. Well, you've been breathing for 10 minutes. It's in your head. It's in your head. That's the difficulty. And I understand that. Vera doesn't like the idea of being cooked like a lobster. No, me neither. Poor lobsters, they have a hard life, don't they? Screaming their heads off when they get dumped into that boiling water. Awful. Ollie K had an inflatable one, but we got holes in the bubble tub. The bubble tube. Yeah, not my sort of thing, one of those bubble baths, really. Some devastating news about Bridgerton, boys and girls, in the Daily Mail. You may have seen this. You know that gorgeous bloke in there? Regé Jean Page. He's not going to be in Series 2. Lord Hastings. He's not going to be in it. Now, if you wanted a James Bond, that is a man who could play James Bond. The bloke who played Lord Hastings in Bridgerton. Absolutely. He would be an excellent James Bond. Wouldn't he? Don't you think? Well, in the Daily Mail, the hit Netflix series took to its official Twitter account to reveal that the actor, 31, who plays Simon Bassett, the Duke of Hastings, won't be appearing in Series 2. I'm devastated, dear. But he wasn't my favourite character. He was clearly the best looking one. My favourite character was Miss Danebury. She's great. And of course, she's been in loads of stuff. She was in Casualty years ago. She's great. She's such a good actress. She really is. Regé Jean, who is set to star in The Grey Man, I don't know what that is. Is that a film or a series? Also took to Instagram to confirm the news, as he emotionally said it had been a pleasure and a privilege to be your Duke. What a shame he ain't going to be in it. In a tongue-in-cheek statement penned as the mysterious show lead Lady Whistledown, Bridgerton tweeted, "Your Grace, it has been a pleasure." The statement read, "Dear readers, while all eyes turn to Lord Anthony Bridgerton's quest to find a Viscountess, we bid adieu to Regé Jean Page, who so triumphantly played the Duke of Hastings." Isn't that a shame? Wouldn't he be good? Don't you think he'd be a good James Bond? Him? Yes, please. He's got the looks, the charm, everything. Bit like myself. Looks and charm, everything. Humour, everything. Don't upset anyone. Kind, nice person. Bleh, bleh. I'd have to sort that out, I suppose. Regé Jean later confirmed this in his own statement, and he wrote, "The ride of a lifetime, it's been an absolute pleasure and a privilege to be your Duke." Fantastic news. I don't think they're going to replace him. I hope they don't replace him with another actor, because they do that, don't they? They did it in Neighbours a few times, didn't they? They absolutely did that in Neighbours a few times. And they changed the actor or actress, and it doesn't work for me, not really. I don't like it when they do that. Jason, can't wear a mask, then wear a face shield. Yeah, a face shield would do it if you can't wear a mask. That's not over your mouth, is it? Excellent idea. George, my nan said I should wear a face shield. Well, get one on then. Get one on. Why does the 2 hours 8 to 10 go so quick? Already looking forward to Wednesday's show. Oh, you're very kind. It does go quick. Everything I do here goes quick. Even when I was doing the 2-hour radio show in the morning, which I thoroughly enjoyed, but I just found it was making me very tired from about 1:30, because of course I was getting up at 20. I probably don't need to get up at 6:20 to do an 8 a.m. show, to be honest. But I do. I like to be ready. Be prepared or fail. That's sort of my opinion on that. Well, you know, the time I used to get to the Black Cat, Mike, when you worked there with me. Back end of 1980, 89, something like that. 89, was it? 9 o'clock. Well, we only did 9. Was it 9 till 11? 2 hours, 9 till 11. I'd be there. I'd be coming in that door at 8:30, ready. Yes, absolutely. How are we doing? Couple of Netflix. Yeah, we'll do 2 more stories and then we'll disappear. Couple of Netflix films for you to watch, my loves. Where are they now? Here we go. 2 films I've watched. Tom Hanks, Castaway. Very good. Very good. Tom Hanks, great actor, works as a DHL person. Packages and all that business. Gets on a plane crashes, he ends up on a desert island, all on his own. Really very good. Very good. Okay? So that's called Castaway. Both on these on Netflix. And another film on Netflix is called Run. Now, it's about a mother who's kind of controlling her daughter. Okay? Very good. Great twist at the end. And you'll recognise, if you watch the TV series on Netflix called Ratched, her mother is the nurse from Ratched, okay? All right, so 2 films there. Tom Hanks and Castaway and Run. 2 films there on Netflix that you might like to watch. One more story then. Any last text messages? Get them in nice and quick and I'll read them out for you. And this is to do with your heating. Do you have your heating up very much? My mate has it so high, I sweat like anything in his blooming house. Oh, it's so hot in there. You open the door and this wall of heat kind of hits you. Here, I tend to have my heating on here at about 18 degrees, believe it or not. 18. Most people are about 21. Well, according to the Daily Mail, homeowners will have to turn down their radiators by 10 degrees for the country to hit climate change targets. It has emerged. No one's going to do that. So you're telling me I'm going to sit here, it's 8 degrees. Do you know what? The funny thing is, I think if we did, we would eventually get used to it. You know, cavemen and people like that. Actually, when I went camping in tents, it must have been below 8 degrees when I was in a tent before. I remember camping in the snow. You got in your sleeping bag. You didn't really notice the cold. Still woke up, didn't die from freezing cold. So, you know, we'd probably get used to it. Could we do it, though? I don't know. As a child, you know, used to wake up in my bedroom. There was ice on. I'm sure it was the same in your house. Some of your houses. We had ice on the inside of the windows. There was no central heating. Before school, Mum used to wander in my room and plug in this fan heater and direct it against the bed. In the Daily Mail, the government has set a target of 600,000 heat pumps being installed every year until 2028 to replace the current gas boilers to bring down emissions. Now, I have these. I actually have one in my bedroom. It's an air conditioning cum heat pump. And now, right, now, I don't have to heat the whole house anymore. If I'm not using the whole house, if I go to bed, that heat goes on in there and I turn the gas off. It's only heating one room. And I've also got these installed at the caravan. Now, the caravan is a bit different because there's no insulation. Not really. It's just a metal tin box. So the heat you're putting in very quickly escapes. I could have it insulated. Cost a lot of money. The caravan's old. I could have a roof put on there, proper roof with insulation. And you can even have the sides clad. What they put is put on wooden battens and they put insulation around it. And then like a cladding around the outside, and you've got an insulated caravan. The new caravans, you can order one that is winter, suitable for winter. But a new caravan, tens of thousands of pounds. Now, I haven't got that to spend. But I do have them at the caravan, and there's certainly the one in the bedroom. This bedroom is small. Put that on, I'm never cold. Never. Never. So they do work well, these air pump things. It says the pumps, which look like air conditioning units on the outside of buildings, suck energy from the air and use it to heat homes and are more efficient than using fossil fuel technologies. And they don't use as much as a fan heater either. I think the amount of electricity the fan heater uses, the fan heater uses about 2,000 kilowatts of electricity, 2 kilowatts of electricity, 2,000 watts of electricity. My heat pump uses 800 watts, which is less than half. So they are very efficient. There's 2 types of heat pumps, actually. There's one that uses like air, like I've got in here. Like an air conditioning, that's one type. So it'll either blow out cold or hot air. And the other ones actually work with radiators. But you would need to change the radiators have to be bigger. Because they don't get so hot. You have to leave them on for longer because they don't get so hot, but they use much less electricity. Government advisors, the Climate Change Committee, said they believe the technology will run at 50 degrees rather than a gas boiler's 60, you see. It means families may have to splash out on larger radiators to get the same warmth or invest in other technologies such as underfloor heating and better insulation. Otherwise, We'll have to all turn our blooming eating down by 10 degrees. I can't see that happening, can you? People won't do that. Anyway, gang, time for me to go. Oh, it's time to go already. Oh, no. Yes. Time to go. Now, what are you doing later? Because my mate's on the radio later. Yes, indeed. Alan Ross will be with you at Reach on Air tonight until 3 o'clock in the morning. Go and say hello to him. Tell him, oh, Chris sent us along earlier on, and that would be great. All right. Okay, I'll be there tomorrow morning. 9 o'clock tomorrow morning is my Reach on Air show, 9 till 10 o'clock. Listen on your smart speaker if you want, or on a computer, or on a phone, something like that, okay? If you didn't do so already, please can you hit the little thumbs up button, the sort of the like button on your way out if you've enjoyed the show. If you haven't, then you haven't really been watching me. You've been watching someone else, and I'm sorry that you haven't enjoyed it. There'll be another chat show for you on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Thanks so much for joining us and watching and listening on this Monday night. Happy Easter Monday to you. I'll see you again Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Cheerio now.